Welcome to this installment of the Get to Know Your Local Historical Society. In this video, we will explore the rich history and collections of the Bordentown Historical Society.
So the Bordentown Historical Society is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that was established in 1930. Our meeting house was actually built in 1740, so that predated our historical society by quite a number of years. Our mission is to preserve, teach, and inspire curiosity about Bordentown's rich history, and it is truly incredible. Bordentown is a 1 square mile little city or town or village even, and the history associated with Bordentown is just unbelievable. We're an all-volunteer organization, and we have really quite incredible volunteers. We have a number of events taking place throughout the year, and
the most important events, fundraisers that we have a garden tour every year. It's always the first Saturday in June, and we hadn't had a house tour since 2019 because of COVID, but we did have our house tour last year in 2024 in November, and we will have it again this November. Those are two of our big fundraisers. And then there are events in the town that we participate in, like the Cranberry Fest, the Chocolate Walk, the Street of Dreams, which is lots of antique cars that are here, and we're able to participate.
we have two buildings. The one is obviously the one we're in now, which is our meeting house, the 1740 Quaker Meeting House. The other building we are stewards of is the historic Clara Barton Schoolhouse, about which Bon will be speaking in just a little bit. In the meeting house, we have an incredible Joseph Bonaparte exhibit that was opened in May of 2022. Shortly before that, the meeting house got I wouldn't say an extreme makeover, but a makeover through a generous donation and grant from the Society of Colonial Wars of the state of New Jersey. And that allowed us to plan and put together this incredible exhibit about Joseph Bonaparte. And I'm not sure if people realize that Joseph Bonaparte was Napoleon's older brother and lived in Bordentown from 1816 to 1844. His estate was called Point Breeze, and it's still, the land at least, is still in existence.
The Clara Barton Schoolhouse is open by appointment. I do almost all the tours. We have lots and lots of children that come to the schoolhouse, not just from our local schools, but from schools in other towns that come on buses and what have you.
We are proud of having a sister city based on our mutual relationship with Joseph Bonaparte, and that sister city is Mortefontaine, France. The connection is that from 1768 to 1814, Joseph had a chateau, had a palace in Mortefontaine. Recently, the Bordentown Regional High School established a history club, and we have been in contact with a number of the students who are in the history club, and we're really looking forward to doing a lot of things with the history club.
In June, we have third graders coming, 80 third graders, and they come to both the meeting house and the schoolhouse. Steve entertains them here at the meeting house with an adorable video that was created by one of our members, all about Joseph Bonaparte. And so Steve and I think Doug is here with you too. They do that, and then 20 kids come here, 20 kids go to the schoolhouse, and we keep having them go back and forth until all 80 have gone to both places. I give lots of talks. We both give lots of talks. We open the meeting house and the schoolhouse. I said the schoolhouse is open by appointment because, among other things, there's no bathroom there. So it's really hard to have regular hours for any length of time. When we have talks, we usually have our talks at the meeting house, and that's also on the website. Occasionally, when we think we're going to have a lot of people, we may find another venue for our talk. But we do have, we have quite a few speakers, and all of that information's on the website.
Some of the print resources that we have available for the public, first of all, I want to mention we have a very extensive vertical file collection of information which covers many topics about Bordentown, including families, events, stories, churches, schools, and businesses. They contain photos and postcards, newspaper articles, memorabilia. And part of this vertical file research, we have a large internal database of merchants of Bordentown. And this database covers items from the early 1800s to mid to late 1900s, which includes the families that owned the businesses, where the businesses were located in town, types of businesses, and then each file contains examples of newspaper articles about the businesses, histories, some unique business cards, some advertising items, and photos, and histories and events on those businesses. In addition to these merchant resources, we have an amazing card catalog of Civil War soldiers that are buried in the Bordentown Cemetery. That includes, obviously, their names, date of birth, date of death, records of their service, and some of them even have the cause of their death. We have many articles, bios, newspapers, clippings of our famous Bordentown historical figures: Clara Barton, Thomas Paine, Patience Lovell Wright, Francis Hopkinson, Joseph Borden, of course, Joseph Bonaparte, and Richard Watson Gilder and the Gilder family. In addition, we have maps, atlases, family Bibles, books and yearbooks. And I want to mention that we have an 1856 map of Bordentown that is in restoration right now, and it shows the original landowners of the time. So that's a really nice archive to have, and we plan on sharing that with the public when we get that back from restoration. We have house histories and photos of houses in Bordentown over the years. Currently, we have a historic house plaque program, and we have very talented volunteers that are researching the homes. And so that information gets included in our archival documents. Regarding our electronic resources available, currently we're in the process of organizing, inventorying, and cataloging all of our archives. And we will be adding that to the website for public access. Currently, we do have some items. There's a link on our website that you can go in and see those items. But as we get our inventory processing going, we will be cataloging. So that information will become available more and more on our website. Our website offers various resources to the public, such as the self-guided walk-in tour. We have historical information about our headquarters, this 1740 Friends Meeting House. We have extensive information available on Clara Barton and the schoolhouse, including history and videos. We have articles of interest on some of our famous Bordentonians. We have many stories and articles on Facebook and Instagram. Regarding special collections in our archives, we certainly have Joseph Bonaparte and Point Breeze collection, an extensive Gilder family collection. We have paintings, furnishing, textiles, personal items.
One of the interesting people that we've had here was a fellow by the name of Richard Watson Gilder. And of those who haven't heard of him, he was born here and raised here in Bordentown, and he, in his later years, became the editor of Century Magazine, which was the largest periodical in the United States at the time, from the Gilded Age from the 1800s until his death in 1909. Have here is one of our Century magazines. We got several of them we have in our collection, surprisingly. So we're very fortunate to have his house is still here, and we're very fortunate to have a lot of items associated with him and with his family.
Recently, we had a story that was written by our Vice President, Doug Kiovsky, who wrote about Richard Watson Gilder's relationship with President Grover Cleveland and how they shared some fishing time in 1902. And Grover Cleveland was an avid fisherman, and he even wrote a book about it. And we have in our artifacts the signed copy by Cleveland, and we have some bobbers and lures that were owned by Gilder, and also we have a photo of them fishing together. We have a collection on Clara Barton information.
And Clara Barton, who had worked so very hard and who was really beloved by her students. In fact, there's a book that the Historical Society has that was written in the early 1900s about Clara Barton. And there was a quote from one of her first students, one of the first 6, the day that she started. And he said that Clara Barton was so wonderful that they loved her as much as they loved their mothers. I thought that was such a wonderful thing for anybody to say about their teacher.
We have some historical banners and flags, quilts, and some other textiles. We have Camden and Amboy Railroad information, Bordentown Female College, and Bordentown Military Institute, including yearbooks and memorabilia. We've got some family detailed information on genealogy for some families, the Bechtel family, Thompson, Burr, Borden, and Hopkins. One story that I just wanted to share that we received in a donation was a diary from 1865 of a young woman named Margaret Morton. She lived in Bordentown in the early 60s. And her diary was actually founded by a young girl named Barbara. She found it in Missouri in a trash can. And she was very intrigued by this diary, so she pulled it out. And over the years, she's researched, and actually in her retirement years, she's transcribed the diary. So the diary is about Margaret's everyday life in Bordentown, which is just so interesting to read because you can kind of imagine going back in time. It describes the neighbors, her friends, her social life, her church life, and even an event that she attended at the First Baptist Church in 1865, which Barbara, the owner of the diary, confirmed with a current day clerk from that church. Also in the diary, there was a transcription of the day or so after President Lincoln was assassinated, and Margaret described the sadness and how the whole town mourned for him and his family.
So the map that I have behind me is an 1856 map of the city of Bordentown that shows like all the residences and churches and businesses, like where they were located. Unfortunately, at some point, this old map was pasted and taped to a board that's connected to right now, so it's pretty impossible to restore. But we did have another one that was rolled up at one time, and it's a beautiful map. And we're in the process of getting that restored right now and getting it with also conservation glass. And we hope when that's done in a few months, that'll be on display in the new city hall. So that'll be kind of cool. Napoleon's brother Joseph lived here for about 20 years, but he also had other relatives that lived in Bordentown too. And I want to point out there's a structure that's right on the edge over here. And that's basically it was known as the Bordentown Military Academy at one time, but before that, it belonged to the family of Joseph's his personal secretary Louis Maillard. This was his son Adolphe Maillard, who lived in one corner of that building. And like I said, after he moved out in 1868, then years later in 1881, it became the Bordentown Military Academy, which was one of the most prominent in the United States at the time.
Our operating hours are actually varies depending on the month and the events that we have taking place. That information is on our website. If there's the contact information for reaching out to the Historical Society by email, and that's Bordentown Historical Society at gmail.com. Our website is bordentownhistory.org. Our phone number, 609-298-1740. Our address is 302 Farnsworth Avenue in Bordentown. The zip is 08505. If you are interested in seeing the Clyde Barton Schoolhouse, those visits can be arranged by appointment by calling the Historical Society or emailing us. And likewise, for the meeting house, appointments can be made through Bond, through me, through email, privately, in addition to the days that we are open.